I feel like I do my lighting different in every single video. But oh well. Okay, so I'm very excited today to talk to you about this film. It was requested by Alessandro and it is called Terrified. Terrified was released in 2017. It was directed by Damian Rugna. And this is the same guy that did When Evil Lurks. So I have seen When Evil Lurks and I have heard about Terrified a few times over the years and always thought I would get around to it eventually. So thank you to Alessandro for forcing me to. This is an Argentinian film that I watched on Shudder. There won't be major spoilers here. I am going to be talking about a lot of the themes of this film, but I won't be giving away the ending. This was a very interesting movie and it is kind of hard to talk about, so I'm gonna do my very best here. It's a supernatural film, a paranormal film, if you will, and I really like these movies and I love to see that it can still be explored in fresh ways, you know, because after a while, I guess one could argue that haunting movies and other paranormal kind of movies might get old or tired, but I personally love that topic. So I love to see originals still coming out exploring the supernatural. So this is set in Buenos Aires. God, I can't even say that. Oh my God, hold on.
Buenos Aires.
Oh my God, I did it right. Buenos Aires. Anyway, it is set in a suburb. And basically what happens is that a few of the houses on this street all become afflicted with paranormal activity. It's all kinds of stuff. We'll get more into that in a minute. But the story is not told in an entirely linear way. We start off going along and then we have to jump back to get some more context and then we go back to where we started and left off. And it's also interesting that there's not like, I guess there's a main character eventually, but you sort of get passed around between various people's perspectives. The first person you see, you think like, oh, they're gonna be the main character. And then it gets passed off to someone else and then it gets passed off to someone else. So it's very interesting that you kind of get to view the situation from a lot of different perspectives. I have no qualms with the acting or the casting or anything like that. I thought it was really interesting that many of the main characters in the film are older people. So I love to see some older characters being in the spotlight. I think it's very cool. So now let's talk about what is this paranormal activity. It's weird, okay? And it's hard. The film is very like scattered and chopped up. So it's hard to like figure out how all of these phenomena are actually related to each other, how they are tied to each other. It's sort of chaotic, which I'll give it a pass because it is very effectively scary, okay? It scared me several times. Plus, real life paranormal phenomena are not organized and make sense and tie together. You know, it's chaos there too. Anyway, so some of the phenomena we get are like voices coming out of the drain in the sink. You get like monsters under the bed, monsters in the closet, knocking and banging, levitating. These things will freaking kill you. We get zombies. That was messed up, man. We get even a little bit of like vampirism. General like poltergeist style activity, such as like furniture getting moved around and things of that nature. There's also the topic of interdimensionality that is explored here, and this play in perspective. Like, let's say there's an entity in the room. You can see them from one point of view, but if you move, you can't see them from another point of view. And I thought that was very freaky and very fun because that is something that you hear reported in real life paranormal accounts where like you see something out of the corner of your eye, but then when you look at it, it is not there. That kind of stuff I think is really fun. And not to give too much away, what they're kind of playing with in this movie is the interdimensionality is why you can't see it at all times. So I think what they're getting at is that the layer cake. Have you ever heard the layer cake theory? There's two different dimensions laying on top of each other. And while things are happening and like maybe something else is there, you can't always see it because it's this other dimension. Anyway, okay, I feel like I'm all over the place. But basically what happens in this story is there's some awful stuff going on in these houses. So one of the police officers knows a paranormal investigator, and then that paranormal investigator knows some other paranormal investigators. So a little team of investigators sets up in these houses to try and study and get to the bottom of what exactly is happening here. And I just love that. I just love that setup. That's great. But I guess these paranormal investigators know some stuff, but they don't tell us what they know. And they never really explain to us as the audience, like, what is happening, who are these entities, why is it happening, how did it happen? Like, they touched on it a little bit, but either I totally missed something or it was not fully explained. So in the film, not only do we have this very like disjointed paranormal activity, but it comes with no explanation and like no resolution. So I can see why the film might have not gotten the best reviews for those reasons. But again, I'm looking upon this movie favorably because I think, even though sometimes it made no freaking sense, I think it was really cool and fresh and scary, especially the zombie parts, man. It was similar to When Evil Lurks in some ways, because I guess he really like taps into your senses. You know, he wants to tell you how stuff smells, you know, and how it feels. So it's like a very tactile, kind of gross movie in a lot of ways. But yeah, I think the film does leave you wanting a little bit, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Keeps things open for a sequel if they ever wanted to do a sequel. But at the same time, I'm like, you just kind of left me hanging. Let's use the Katie of the Night measurement here. This is how this is the lens I'm gonna hold up when analyzing any movie. Does it give you something that you can take with you? In this case, does Terrified give you fear that you can take with you? And I would say yes here, definitely. You might be looking down your kitchen sink a little different. You might be checking under your bed before you go to sleep, or looking in your closet. You might look both ways before you cross the street. You might lock your doors, close your curtains. There's a lot of fear you can take with you. So I think Terrified was a really cool film, a really good flick, even though it wasn't the most organized and it didn't bring resolution. I think it was really fun and scary. And I've never used the term popcorn movie. This is my first time. This could be a popcorn movie. Yeah, you don't have to like try to understand it. Just like ride the waves of fear. So thank you, Alessandro, for recommending this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao.